Good morning and welcome back. So it's Monday morning and we're going to hit some intervals in the park. Super simple format, 15 sets of 1 minute on, 1 minute off. So basically run hard, like 5k pace for 1 minute and then shuffle. I like this workout, it's very simple and it does some good stuff. You also join me in quite an untypical week of training. So if you're someone that is into hybrid training, don't worry, this is not a normal week of training for me. There's a lot of long runs coming up because this is the penultimate week before I run the Thames. So what this means is that I have quite a few back-to-back long run days this week, which basically is just a way of getting your body ready for almost simulating what is going to happen in 2 weeks' time. So after this point, it's taper time and then we're good to go. So this week as well, starting to taper down a little bit on the strength front because last week hit some relatively big numbers on the strength front. That means that, again, because we're going to try and put together as good as I can powerlifting total for just before the Thames run, it basically means that my body is now in a place where I can start to relax a little bit on the strength. I need to keep up maybe like 80-ish kind of percent on the lifts, but ultimately should be okay. So here we are. And I've been taking my, I suppose, pre-interval nutrition a little bit more seriously this year, integrating a lot of stuff that is coming out in terms of bicarb research. Bicarbonate of soda is what I mean. So generally speaking, I do 15-20 grams before an interval session. So that means the hard intervals, which I do on Mondays, the thresholds, which I do on Wednesdays, and also now the long runs as well. Now, you might be thinking that that is a strange use of bicarb, but it actually looks like bicarb has some pretty useful applications for kind of aerobic efforts as well. So especially what it can do in the long term for your body to help you on that front. So better functioning mitochondria and all that jazz. So final 5 grams to take. Already taken 10 tablets. Here we are. Enteric coated bicarbonate of soda. Actually goes down the hatch very easily. Never really noticed it these days. I used to take this raw bicarbonate of soda, so mix it into water and try and drink it. It's awful. Highly recommend you don't do that. So this is the Endurance brand, and yeah, been getting on with it pretty well. The other thing I've started taking is Plasmade before hard sessions. Basically an antioxidant and just basically makes your blood deliver more oxygen to muscles. So been feeling pretty good off this stuff as well. And obviously the ultimate performance enhancer, caffeine. So I just cut one of these in half. It's basically 100 milligrams, simple as. Okay guys, just quickly, because I want to make the most of this workout without doing too much filming, but as I said earlier, super simple today. 15 sets of 1 minute on, 1 minute off, so hitting hopefully some 5k kind of rough paces for the 1 minutes, and then shuffling between, keeping that heart rate in a nice high zone for about 30 minutes. Okay, here we go. Okay team, that's the workout done. 15 sets. Didn't feel great at the start, but as ever with these things, you tend to warm up pretty well into them. So stuck it out and actually put down some relatively pleasing paces on this 15. But as you can see behind me, I have arrived at the track. Now that workout is done, I just want to do a few faster efforts, kind of 200 meter style efforts, just to go pure power, because it's all good doing like VO2 workouts and kind of, you know, 1 minute of effort, but that doesn't quite cut it with speed, or like real speed training. So I just want to use some 200s to get some good leg turnover, and basically just means that all those good springy explosive fibers are getting some training, because I want this week to be really polarized in its approach. I want this VO2 speed day to complement all the kind of very long easy work that's coming up. So that's the aim of this session. So just going to do a few strides to warm up and see if we can hit some 200 meter efforts. Okay, a few 200s done. Feeling a bit raspy today. I think it's the pollen, but never really normally affects me. But it's so dusty at the moment in London. We've barely had any rain for about a month, so yeah, it's all in my eyes. I wear contact lenses. I can feel all the dust around them, so not very pleasant. But overall, I mean, I'm not going to complain about the good weather. Looking good. So 12k easy on the cards today. Nothing that exciting. I actually didn't do the strength yesterday because I actually finished the intervals pretty late. And to be honest, the main portion of the strength work that I needed to achieve was done last week. So today is only going to be kind of 70-ish%. So I will do the strength portion today. Later, it doesn't really affect the overall running of this week, because basically this week is just about stacking that big volume. So let's go. Super easy. Just trying to lock into the kind of pace that I'm going to do for the entire ultra. Run is done. 12k easy around the park. Super easy, like just ultra pace basically. Car's a little bit sore from yesterday because obviously trying to do some speed when I have not done any speed training in a while. But anyway, so post run today, crunching up and a protein shake. Generally speaking, this is my go-to meal every morning at the moment because it's so easy to just inhale about 800 calories. So yeah, simples. Okay, so it's now Thursday. Yesterday, Wednesday, was a rest day because the next 3 days are these big days. So 3 hours to do today, 5 hours to do tomorrow, and then a further 3 hours to do on Saturday. Now, this might sound excessive, But what you have to remember is that I'm trying to get my body ready for a multi-day ultra marathon. So something you can do rather than just having your last big final long run is actually try to simulate a little bit of what it's going to feel like to do this event. So the idea of running long for 3 days in a row isn't just to kind of bank a load of aerobic fitness, which it will, but also to basically get the body to remember what it's like to run with tired legs, with a tired cardiovascular system. So that's the point of this. If I don't feel like it's helping, like if I feel like the 5-hour run is going to be too long, I'm not afraid to cut it down, cut it short, because I did this approach before I went to Arizona a few weeks ago. And what I did for that was basically 3 back-to-back days that were just 3 hours. But I want to see if I can bump this one a little bit higher, because ultimately this event is bigger. That's your bicarb. Just gonna do 15 grams of that, so 15 tablets. Today's choice of carbs, just gonna go with some simple scratch nutrition. So this is basically 20 grams of carbohydrate per scoop. Gonna bulk it up a little bit. So gonna do 40 grams of carbohydrate per 500 mils. Gonna carry 2 liters with me. That was pretty much what I needed last time I did this particular route. I'm gonna run down to Putney, cross the bridge, and then come back through all the way down to Tower Bridge, and then back over. Foot taping, highly recommend. Batsy. Try not to push too hard because I had the rest of yesterday. So, legs feel pretty good. If I go too hard today, and tomorrow it's going to be miserable. Just coming into Putney, feeling pretty chilled. It's the realities of a long run. Just put a podcast on and then just chill. The sun's come out now. Coming home to a curry. But there we go, 3 hours, 30k. Kind of a moderate effort in the end, because the leg's just feeling really good. And ultimately, if I'm going to bank some good fitness this week, then I might as well get some quality sessions done. Tomorrow, they're not going to feel that great, but that's kind of the point. So yeah, anyway, going to do a bit of mobility now. And stretching, because it's the thing I actually do the least, and it's obviously something that I tell all of my clients to do, and I never actually end up doing myself. So this week after, when I'm tapering, and especially during the event as well, I'm going to be super big on getting my mobility sessions done, because ultimately trying to make myself feel as good as possible for as long as possible. It's kind of the aim of a multi-day. So yeah. Cool, day 1 done. Very much did not want to do this run today. Yeah, there's something about doing like these long effort runs. There's always so much resistance. I can't get my head around it. I always had this idea that it's going to be terrible, and whilst this run does not feel as good as yesterday, still getting it done. And ultimately, if I feel like this on day 2 or day 3, then I'll be in a good place, even if it does suck a little bit. I've just left the halfway point, so just ran all the way down to Barnes, So beyond Hammersmith, and time to start the slow plod home. It's going to be a bit of a drag because it's an out and back, which is, I always think, the worst way to run. The Thames is actually enormous. It's so big. Not gonna lie, feeling the grind today, and ultimately the grind is what I'm training, but makes you have all those doubts, doesn't it? You put yourself out here on these kind of platforms and then you're terrified about failure. And then I just gotta remind myself that I can literally just take this thing at my own pace. All I need to do is get to the end of every day, get to the next checkpoint with the team. It's all at my own pace. Oh, not gonna lie, I got tough. Only because like my hips and glutes just stiffen up so much. And I just have to remind myself I just need to stop, stretch them out, eat some food, drink some fluid, whatever hydration I've got on me, and then start again. I always feel so much better for that. And also, I'm still going way faster than I'm going to go on the day. So that was 4 hours and 55 minutes. Just covered 43 kilometers. So obviously, if I generously doubled that for myself and said that that would mean that I would do, roughly 86 kilometers in 10 hours, I know that's a very generous pace. So I'm not going to be doing that on the day. So these efforts, I always think these big efforts, they always feel so much worse and they give you the doubts. So need to rest up tonight, eat a boat ton of calories, and see if I can get these legs moving for, I did say 3 hours for tomorrow. I'll be happy if I can just get out and get some movement, even for like an hour and a bit. So we will see, hey? Anyway, done. Okay, so it's day 3 of peak week. Day 1, 3 hours. Got something in my mouth. Yesterday, 5 hours on the feet. Not gonna lie, that was a bit of a grind by the end, but mostly because basically I ran the entire thing. So shuffling, your hips and your glutes get a bit locked up. And for the first kilometer today, when I started running, I could feel a little bit of soreness in the hips and one of the knees, but all you need to do is kind of just get moving. And then I basically walked, every third of a kilometer, just do 20 meters of walking. And that's kind of what I've done for the last hour and a bit, and I feel great. So the kind of pace that I'm moving at on this day 3 is kind of what I think is going to happen, because your body's just going to carry so much fatigue. So if I can basically just maintain my mental bandwidth, because that's what gets to you more than what your body's feeling. If I can maintain my mental bandwidth by managing my nutrition, managing my hydration, really managing my pace and chilling out, then I know I'm going to be okay. So I just did 10k in about 75 minutes, which is slow, but extrapolate that over a whole day, and if I can maintain how good I feel right now, that is the aim. And that's the main mistake that everyone makes with ultras. They look at the easy running pace that they do for a 10k and they go, oh yeah, no, I could do that for 10 hours. Trust me, you couldn't. Okay, there we go, 10 miles at super easy ultra pace. I feel great. Like yesterday, losing that confidence about whether this is going to be achievable, and then today, yeah, I think it is I think it is there. So that's the thing about ultras. It's just managing the mindset. Anyway, there we have it. Peak week done. Need to just tot up the amount of kilometers that I've done in the last 7 days, but I think it's about 126, 130 maybe. So yeah, not too bad. All right, on to taper week.